Hi everybody, I'm just getting the place picked up, put away. I'm headed out this weekend for a few days to go down to Memphis, Tennessee. I wanted to do this really quick because I'm back in Missouri. During my Michigan trip, my slide stopped working and I had to come home and sort of find a place that'll take it. And I can't get in until the 26th. It's under warranty, so I need to go to an Ember dealer. So these things happen. There's always something wrong with no matter what trailer you get. So anyway, I'm back in Missouri and I'm just headed down to Memphis, Tennessee for a few days because we're supposed to get a bad freeze here in Missouri tonight. Well, Sunday night. I can't remember if it's Sunday morning or Sunday night. Doesn't matter. So this is my harvest toast for the evening. I don't use harvest toast very often because I like these farm markets, but they're usually, really far off the interstate. And I know some people don't like the noise, but I like the convenience. And there's I-55 right there. We're in Benton, Missouri. I want to get to stop in New Madrid tomorrow, so I didn't want to go all the way to Memphis. So anyway, here's Beggsbury World Farm Market. And I'm hoping to have some jams. And it says they have pies. So watch out, hips. Here I come. Well, it's too late in the season for any berries and jam, of course. I thought they might have some jam, but it looked like it was mostly sold out. But I absolutely adore pecans. And they had white chocolate and candy coated. I didn't try the white chocolate, but I love white chocolate. But the candy coated was really good. And then they had these little truffles. And they had creme brulee. I got creme brulee, strawberry, cherry cheesecake, and raspberry. So they had all kinds of those. And they have fresh ice cream, but I didn't want ice cream yet. So anywho, so that's my snag from the harvest toast. So we are getting ready to leave our harvest toast, which was a delightful evening. I mean, the traffic really died down after like 10 or 11. The only problem I had is about 1 o'clock in the morning, everything started beeping because my battery didn't last. Now I know it's just a regular 12 volt that they got when they sold it to me, and I need to upgrade. I want to upgrade to lithium, but oh my gosh, didn't even make it one day. But anywho, after I figured out, like, let's just turn the power off. So I turned off all the power. It's cold enough that I'm thinking my refrigerator will be fine. We have a stay at the KOA near Marion, Arkansas, which is really called the Memphis KOA because it's right across the river, about 20 minutes from downtown Memphis. So anywho, we will catch you on down the road. Okay, so finally it is sunny and there's no rain and it's not cold. So I'm heading today, as Wednesday, to the National Civil Rights Museum in downtown Memphis and then to Sun Studios. So that's my I was going to do it on separate days, but it's been too cold and cloudy and rainy and all that. Well, it wasn't rain, but cold and damp and nasty. So today's my first good day. So headed the way. I'll give you more info when I get there. So no video was allowed in the Civil Rights Museum, just photos. So I'm just going to do a voiceover here and sort of talk through the different pictures that you're going to see here. This display was one of the first ones you saw as you came into the museum, and it was just devastating. It's the middle passage, and there was some sound effects, men screaming, whips, and it just really tore at your heart. The beginning of the museum was very much about the slave trade. But one of the things that I particularly like about this museum is the fact that they really didn't just focus on the horror, but also on the resilience and some of the accomplishments that Black Americans made even in the beginning years. And then they began to walk through the different events, like the school integration program. And of course, I've got to get some shots of Ruby. She's one of my favorites. This is one of my favorite pictures from Norman Rockwell. And the boycott exhibit was particularly touching. This is the actual bus that Rosa Parks took a seat on. And she wasn't the only woman who was arrested during this time period, and so they had some information about that. But here on the bus, there you have a bus driver at the beginning that you can't really see, and there was a voice that came on and said, telling her to get off the bus. And it scared me the first time I heard it, but I thought, what a powerful exhibit. Now, and this exhibit about the sit-downs in the diners was powerful too, because here you can see sort of a mock-up of it, but that video playing in the background is them practicing on how to take the verbal assaults and attacks that they might experience when they did the sit-ins. And of course, you had the Freedom Riders and the terror that they went through, the search for the 3 young men that were missing, and Mississippi Burning is how most of us know that. But even people I hadn't ever heard of, they were sharing just sort of some of the attacks and the resilience of these African Americans in trying just to be recognized as citizens and human beings. And of course, anytime you have children involved, it just breaks your heart. But they were teaching their children to rise up and to have a voice. Those 4 girls. I didn't realize there's 2 boys that were also killed in sort of in the days that followed that bombing. And then Bull O'Connor. I had to take this picture of Bull O'Connor because anybody in journalism is familiar with the New York Times versus Sullivan, which, he lost his libel suit because of the Supreme Court finding. And like I said, in addition to, the sadness and the violence, there was also this idea of persistence and resilience and, just the continual fight for what everybody knows was the right of all Americans. This is our American history. It's not just African American history. This is part of our history as well. And I just think they did a great job of showing that. And the museum ends with Martin Luther King arriving in Memphis. The museum is in the Lorraine Motel where King spent his last hours and where he was assassinated. I didn't realize we were going to get to see the actual rooms. When I was down below, you can see I was down below, and now you're seeing from up above. And that was pretty special. Great way to end the visit to the National Civil Rights Museum. And now we have a bit of an emotional whiplash. After the Civil Rights Museum, I then went to Sun Studios. I wanted to see that. I'm a big Johnny Cash fan. An interesting connection, though, between the two museums is that Sam Phillips, who started ended up owning Sun Studios, really wanted to start the recording studio or recording business to help some of the African Americans that weren't able to find a recording studio to accept them and their music. So it started that way. It may have ended with Elvis and Johnny Cash and those, but it started with the idea of giving everyone a place to record their music. And as we all know, Elvis's music is based a lot on Negro spirituals. So after visiting the museum upstairs, which again did not allow video, only photos, we were taken downstairs to the actual recording studio where Johnny Cash and Elvis Presley actually recorded. And there are still artists that record music there. So it was really an interesting place to be. Our guide, Alexa, she was amazing. And she had music that she would play every now and then that went with the stories that she was telling. I particularly liked this image of Johnny Cash. It's in the alleyway on the way walking to where my truck was, and it made me think of the scene in Walk the Line, where he peeks his head in the door of the Sam Phillips studio and sort of his introduction to that studio. So kind of a cool way to end that visit. Okay, I didn't do a outro yesterday. It was just a long day and I wanted to get home to Mija, but had a wonderful time at the National Civil Rights Museum. Come on, baby. And then I went to see, Sun Studios. Also wonderful. I'm a huge Johnny Cash fan. So that was a lot of fun. And the tour guide, Alexis, she was amazing. So anywho, check that out when you're in town. I got all kinds of recommendations for other things, but of my 3 days here, only one yesterday was really weather-wise okay. So that was fun. And today we are headed to Southeast Missouri, and that'll be in a different video. But I thought I'd walk you around the KOA here in Memphis before we head out. So I'm taking Mia for her last walk before we get in the truck. Okay, now we can walk. Somebody had tummy problems last night, so we were up at 2:30 and 5:30, weren't we, Mija? So anywho, this is the KOA Memphis. It's kind of close to the highway. That's the outer road, but over there, you can see the overpass. That's I-55. And it sounds noisy now, but I am one of those people, like, once I fall asleep, nothing bothers me. So, and at night, it's not nearly as loud. All the trucks kind of stop. So anywho, you can see it's a pretty nice KOA. I am having trouble with Starlink here, but I bought a suction cup mount that I can maybe put on my trailer to lift it up some. But man, if you want to travel anywhere with trees, you might be out of luck. So anywho, over there is a dog walk area. And then over there is a dog walk area down there. Of course, Mia never wants to walk in the dog walk areas, do you? We want to sniff the females. But yeah, nice place. I enjoyed it immensely. Super nice people. I even extended my stay a day because of the weather. Come on, baby. It's about 20 minutes to downtown Memphis, so not bad at all. You're not too far from the Tennessee line here. This is actually in Arkansas. This is Marion, Arkansas. So you're really closer to West Memphis than Memphis, but still not bad. And they pick up your trash here, which is nice. Although that doesn't sway me one way or the other. I take my trash out at home, so I can take it out on the road too. So anywho, some cabins here you can get. And over there's the office with obviously, showers and laundry and all that kind of good stuff. They have some nice stuff in there. Oh, they also have like food here. You can order breakfast. You have to go and get the breakfast, but they have a place for that. But you can order dinner, and they have pizza and hamburgers and a lot of pulled pork. I'm not a big pork eater, but I'm sure it's good. So anywho, okay, so I am going to head out after this, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.